Hey, what's up everybody? It is time that I introduce you guys to our mobility stick. So this stick is something that I use on a daily basis, whether I'm doing mobility or priming the body. It is hard for me to believe over 15 years ago, I was in a bad vehicle accident overseas during one of my deployments. And during my physical therapy, the physical therapist had me doing what is now called stick mobility. Back then until this day, this simple, versatile piece of equipment has helped me out tremendously with my mobility, my range of motion, and it also has provided me with a sense of stability when getting into specific movements, when holding, when doing some plyo type movements. That has helped me out tremendously while I was in that recovery process. It has helped me reduce and negate any injuries. It helps me prime the body, and like I said, I can't speak highly enough about how this has helped me out with my range of motion. I suffer a lot from it, from a lot of chronic pain and a lot of issues that I have after 25 years in the military, but this stick has become part of my daily life, right? So it is something that I have found that I'm very consistent with. Now, 15 years, why is it taking us that long? Well, it has taken us that long to develop something to make sure it is exactly what we want before getting it out and onto the market. We also wanted to make sure that we personally used it for a few years to make sure that we mastered our prototype, and we also wanted to get feedback from family, clients, and friends, and we have had nothing but great feedback. So let's talk quickly about the stick, and then we'll talk about some of the uses, and I'll show a quick clip on how we use the stick during our mobility routines and how we do it before hitting any type of routine to prime the body in order to negate any injuries. So let's get right into it. All right, so let's talk about the construction and the design of our mobility stick. So it's constructed of a solid plastic. Now that's important because that means it's extremely durable, but it's lightweight, but it's also flexible. Flexibility is extremely important. It also comes in with some built-in grips for you to hold on to, and it also has a rubber stopper up here on the end. Now, why rubber? That means it's non-slip, which is also extremely important. If you're in a deep lunge or you're in a specific movement, you don't want something slipping out from underneath you and causing an injury. It also breaks apart. So it untwists, and when it untwists, we break it apart in these simple 18-inch sections, and what that allows you to do is throw it into any gym bag, a 3-day pack, or throw it in your luggage when you're getting ready to go on any type of trip, which means you'll be extremely consistent, and it is something that you can bring with you no matter your walk of life or what you're doing or using the stick for. Also, when you break it away, or break it apart, when I say when it has these handles, this allows you, it's almost like that walking stick. If you're somebody who walks alone a lot or needs something because you're worried about a dog or some predator coming after you, this allows you to just bring this lightweight stick with you, and that those grips help you hold on to it, but it also, that the stopper on the end helps it so your hand doesn't slip off the end if you do have to swing this stick. So it's simply just screws back together, and then you're ready to use it as a mobility stick or to help prime the body. We're going to go over some of the basic exercises and some of the things on how we use the stick. And at the end of this one, if you guys have the patience or the time, we'll also throw together a quick routine on what we do on a daily basis, whether it's our mobility routine or what we do when we're priming the body. So let's take a look at some of those exercises. All right, so before we get into a quick video on how we use this stick on a daily basis, I want to cover why the flexibility and the durability is so important for this type of kit, right? So the reason why it's solid is because I can't tell you how many sticks when I was building this prototype that I actually snapped, and it wasn't pretty when they broke. So having it solid and a good dense plastic is extremely important to prevent this thing from snapping on you. The flexibility also equally important, because what it does is that it helps you out get into a deep stretch. So when you push on this stick, we call this movement the bow hunter. When you push, that simple bowing motion pulls and adds some additional assistance on trying to get into a good deep stretch. When you put it behind your back, once again, because it's durable and it feels comfortable on your back and it's flexible, it allows you to really give yourself a really good stretch when you're trying to open up that chest. And the harder you push on one hand, the harder it's going to pull on the other, which is why that flexibility is equally important. The rubber stoppers, extremely important, like I said, so it doesn't slip. So when you get into such things as like a deep lunge, so when you get down into this deep lunge, and if you're smoked or just got done doing legs, or you have balance issues, this gives you a sense of security, so that when you get into this nice deep stretch and you're holding it for a minute, when you go to get up, you push on the stick and it helps you almost like a walking stick. And of course, those rubber stoppers make it so that the stick doesn't slip out from underneath you. You can see how that could impact so many people and cause a lot of injuries. When you break it apart, like I said, it allows you to manipulate specific joints a little bit easier, so you don't have this big long stick, such as the one that you're going to put behind you, and then you can pull here, and that's going to really open up your shoulders, and it's going to help you negate any shoulder injuries or issues when you're getting into any type of exercise or workout routine. Another one, a little bit difficult to get into, but you take a knee, slide your hand down here, and when you pull on this stick and that flexibility, it really opens up your entire lat area here, all the way down into your rib cage, into your abs, all the way down into your hip flexors. So extremely important that it's flexible, it's durable, and it feels good against the skin, so that you can use it no matter where you're at or what you're doing or what you're wearing, and it's not going to get snagged on clothing or what have you. So let's quickly discuss, I'm going to give you a quick video of how we use this stick on a daily basis, whether it's mobility routines or what we do to prime the body. All right, so let's talk about how I use this stick to prime the body. So this stick, I can't tell you how much this has helped me negate any injuries, and it helps me warm the body up, get that blood flowing, gets rid of some of those chronic pain, chronic issues, because it starts the blood flow, gets rid of the inflammation before getting into any type of routine. So my standard routine, I'm going to run you through some base exercises, some of the things that I use a stick for, but there is so many that you can use a stick for. I'm just going to show you some simple movements that we use our mobility stick for before getting into our workout routine. So it's a push-pull. We call this stirring the pot. We call this one around the world. So you can just do upper body, or you can throw in your hips with it. We call this one the marching band. We call this one the paddle board. We call this one the helicopter or washing machine. Call this one shoulder dislocation to hamstring stretch. We then take the stick, we'll start waking up the legs a little bit, stand with shoulder width apart, twist, get into a nice deep lunge. You know, you can do 5 or 10 on each leg. Switch it over, same thing. Getting into a nice deep lunge, waking up the ankles, waking up the knees, making sure those hips and everything is good to go before getting into any type of routine to negate injuries. Get into a nice deep squat, opening up the groin. And then we typically just throw in some kicks, right? Get the blood flow. So you go straight, open up the groin, come to the side, and the stick gives you that stability to do it, and the rubber base ensures you don't slip. All right, so now that we showed you guys how we prime the body, now we'll show you what we typically do post-workout to help out with some of those static stretches. So very similar to the push-pull, but now what you're going to do is you're going to push and you're just going to hold that for a few seconds. Just let your chest sink into the stick. You'd be amazed on how well that feels. Twist to one side or the other. You can hold each one of these stretches, you know, for 10 or 15 seconds, whatever you may, whatever your desire. And then once you're here, just let the hands slide down into a good hamstring stretch. You'd be surprised on how much this helps out with the shoulders and that mobility in the shoulders to help out with those stretching and opening up the chest. Then we get into chest stretch. So twisting to each side is a great movement. It's incredible what the mobility stick will do for you. You can go to either side, right? Or you can twist down to the alternate toe, which is awesome. Hold each one of those sticks, each one of those exercises for a few seconds. Then we get into those deep lunges again. So you can deep lunge here, or you can put a knee down, keeping your hand up high, and let it stretch out your lats again and get into a good combat stretch. Or the bow hunter, which is one of our favorites, super easy. Or you can do the kneeling bow hunter, if you want to call it that, where it gives you a good deep stretch, which is wonderful. And then, of course, assists you with getting in and out of your positions, especially if you've had a good leg day and you're kind of smoked from your workout. Get into a nice, good, deep sumo squat, shift to either side, opening up that groin, and then you can get some shoulder manipulation in there, which is great. So you can see the versatility of this simple but durable piece of kit. Highly recommend it. People that I introduce this stick to love it. They want to bring it golfing with them. They want to bring it with them when they go on trips. Whatever the case may be, it becomes part of their daily regimen, or it would become part of their daily regimen if they had this specific mobility stick. And like I said, for the last few years, I've been using it to help me negate injuries and help me with my mobility and range of motion. And I promise you, I have used it probably every day of my life over the last couple of years. We look forward to your guys' feedback. Let us know what you guys think. If you guys know of somebody that can help us out with manufacturing and maybe distribution, we'd love to hear from you. Godspeed, man. We look forward to hearing from y'all later.